tweaks and stuff, you know. I've got to put the 12-pound doors on. Like new.
Nice.
Cream puff.
Like it never came off.
Low mileage. One owner. Rarely smoked it.
It rarely smokes.
It does smoke. I mean, out one side. You know. We're going to go up there, smoke the tires, come back, turn it all around, go up there, smoke the tires, come back, turn it all around.
With that attitude, you are.
If we don't, then these tires are, the whole 28 thing is a lie.
Well, let's not go that far, because
other than the gear
no
change,
one's made a hit on the road in a little bit. It doesn't look like.
True. I changed the gears. I don't feel like the tune-up is going to need as much turning down as it would if we'd have just changed the tires. So hopefully the gear is going to take some snot out of it. And I did change the 4-link because of the ride height situation, but it's pretty much the same as it was. So it's not like we, you know, did a whole bunch there. The weirdest thing to me is looking at the tune-ups on 28s from your car out here versus my car on 29s, because we run about the same transmission ratios, and now we have about the same rear gear. So I was like, well, you know, we'll look at what kind of RPM she was leaving at, and we'll turn ours down to whatever that is. What's weird is that you were leaving at, you know, the same RPM or more that I was leaving at on the bigger tire. So I think that I was just too conservative on the bigger tire, you know? Mm-hmm. And I never really, after smoking the tires and it bouncing and acting stupid for so many weeks in a row, I just never started stepping that back up. So we're going to start hot on the launch RPM and see where it takes us. It is a brand new set of tires, 4 or 5 licks before it really comes around, but we got to get those 4 or 5 licks and we'll learn every time we go up there. What do you set these things at?
I would do the same ratio as mine. So think about what we'd set mine at on 29s to 28s, and then I would maybe do that, you know, copy that.
The only difference would be the wheel on yours is narrower, so...
Right, I didn't say do what I do, you know, but we didn't run the same...
No, it would need more pressure than these. So basically, I'll take whatever we usually put in yours, and we'll just go down a little bit and put it in these and see what happens.
Yeah, I didn't mean do what we do on mine. I didn't mean, like, compare what we set your wheel at on a 29 to my wheel on a 29, and then my 28 to... I would do that difference,
yep.
that
like the
ratio.
Delta between them. Use
like,
that
if yours is 1.5 in between...
Yeah, whatever the delta is, use it on the both. Okay, that's not a bad idea. Okay, sweet. actually went full pull, first lick on the 28th. And that tire is the equalizer. Huh. I'll be damned. I'll take it.
Well, what'd you think?
I mean, you know,
It's not bad for your first 28.
off the trailer on 28s for the first time, you know, goes all the way to the stripe under power, and it was fast.
And didn't smoke the tire.
It did not smoke the tire. I didn't even have to pedal it or nothing. There's a lot of room. I mean, it was dead off the button, and you can tell it's got a little bit of bounce in it that we need to probably make a little 4-link change or something. But as far as, like, you know, baseline, we picked up like 8 mile an hour from our last pass out here on 29s.
Yeah, we didn't really imagine that.
I will say, judging by the data and that first lick, I think that the big 29 that we were running, I think it's harder to make work than this tire. This tire,
Yeah.
It seems like you can just pull a bunch of power out of it or whatever. Well, I mean, we just pulled gear out of it, but it seems like you can just take some snot out of it and it'll go. Whereas the big tire, you have to do all kinds of stuff to get that thing happy.
Everyone thinks big tire is easy. You know, big tire is freaking hard, but the bigger you go, the more you got to do to keep it happy, you know?
Yeah, it took me years to figure out the big tire. It took me months to figure out the 29.5. I think the 29 is just it's a big old floppy tire you got to work with. And without having wheelie bars, that's what killed us. Not having wheelie bars. With a big tire, we have wheelie bars to stop the smash of the tire, you know? So without having wheelie bars, it was tough. This tire is a stiff tire, and it's really stiff when you know. The sidewalls from like this, which most people run them like this.
That's
and if
me.
you take them and you put them like this, it probably works better. But if you take them and you put them like this, stiffens the tire way up. But the tread's still killer, so I don't know. We'll see how fast we can go, but as slow as it was in the first half a second to 3/4 of a second, there is a ton of room for improvement. And as much mile an hour as it had, and it took out the back and with ease the first lick, like, I mean, obviously we go to a bad road, we'll have to figure it out, but for what we're doing right now, man, it's a sigh of relief. I figured, okay, we got months of, trying to figure out this tire, because everybody said, 29.5, that's a big tire. That ain't no small tire. That's a big tire. It's not big enough, and it definitely doesn't make enough difference for people to act like,
No, I think the 29 helps on shittier roads, because this is a really good road. But it's like taking a slick to a radial track, like if it's just a bigger tire, it's got all that sidewall to entertain.
It's a good way of putting it. That's right.
Which is the same as a slick at a racetrack, a good racetrack.
The more sidewall, is supposed to make things easier and more forgiving, and it does on a real shitty road probably, but on any street race road with some rubber down, the bigger tire has more sidewall to entertain. I like that. It was one pass. Could have been a fluke. We may not be able to do it ever again, I don't know.
Yeah.
Plan is to raise the launch RPM 100, which is going to bring out the bounce. You know what I mean? That's when you start to gain the bounce, especially when your 4-link is, a little off like ours is right now. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to loosen up the compression, hoping to calm the bounce, and then I'm basically just going to run the shifts out a little further and try and clean up the fuel a little bit. We have time. I'd like to sit down after this test session and just go over the changes and the data, what we saw, what we liked, what we didn't like, and then that way, you have a better idea, because it's hard to just watch somebody go out and test and they make 3 passes and you're like, well, I don't know, it looked faster every time, I guess, but you don't know what they're doing in between, and I don't even have time to try and explain it to anybody tonight anyway. All right, so let's go back up and try it again. Well,
That sucked.
that sucked. I agree, that sucked. I agree. Like I said, I don't always do the right one, so I'm not, that's not my forte. My forte is a bunch of wrong ones and then one really good one. It did a little of what I wanted with the launch RPM. It kind of snapped the tire, but then I just jerked. I figured if you hit it harder on the launch RPM, maybe I needed to pull a little more timing out in that first drop to kind of catch it and keep it from bouncing. But all it did was make it bounce worse, and it fell off the tire and then got back on the tire and it fell off the tire. And then it was just like, I don't know, it was just like nobody was home. Yeah. If you hit something with a bunch of power, and this is all with a slick, not a radial, if you hit something with a bunch of power and an RPM, when you let go of the button, it tries to go. But then if you take the power away really quick, it kind of, and it falls off the tire. And then the power, as it tries to come back in, you're behind. So like, if you needed 15 degrees of timing or 20 degrees of timing at 0.8 or 9, well, you're behind and it's already slower and the drive shaft's already under everything. So now you need 20 degrees. You need 5 more degrees than what you had and 2 or 3 pounds of boost to get it to climb out of that deficit you created with the timing retards. What I just loaded in the car to go back up there right now before we run out of time, I raised the launch RPM another 100, added 5 degrees of timing off the button. So I didn't, it's still taking timing out, but instead of dropping all the way to 20 or whatever, it's only going to drop to like 15, and it's going to come in a little faster and harder. And then if it's ahead, then it'll go and be fast. You're shooting for these drive shaft numbers at a quarter, half, 3/4. And if you're under, it's so hard to get back to it unless you add a shit ton of power out there. But the problem is you don't know if you're going to be under. So then the next pass, if you were to just say, well, it might be under, so we're going to add a shitload of power right here to catch up. Well, if it's up, if it's where it should be, and that power comes in, it's just going to smoke the tires. So, it's just you're just basically your peaks and valleys the whole way. So you're just trying to clip the peaks and valleys. So if it dips, okay, well then you need to start before that and bring that up. And so, it just takes a little bit to clip the peaks and valleys.
It's not as easy as it sounds, people. How are you supposed to manage 3,000 horsepower?
On a 29 tire, or
28.
Sorry. I'm on a 28. 28's for life, I say. I'm gonna get 28s right here. 28s, I say. Yeah, so, trial and error.
Yep.
They can't all be good ones. I mean, it was still faster than 90% of my passes on 29s, but... It's
still faster than all of my passes, so... You come out and you're like, man, it's slow as fuck. And then I'm like, well, it's only, half a second faster than all of mine, but...
Hey, all you gotta do is work harder.
Work harder to
Go
afford a
test your
tube chassis car.
Work harder, and then you'll be competitive. Or...
Not everyone's gonna pick up on your sarcasm.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so we're gonna try it again. This will be the last one of the night because I already see trucks and stuff moving. So we're gonna try it again, and hopefully we get through that first half a second decently fast. It sucks, man, because I want to shoot for, I can see it. Like if I'm looking at the targets, like I can see that we're on target for this number, and all I need to do is shoot for it, and I think I can make it. But if I shoot for it and I miss, the rest of the pass is all that data is over. Right? Whiffed it. You never want to be the guy who makes 3 licks and your first one out of the trailer was your best one, because that means every time you get in the car it slows down. So the goal here is to just go faster than the first pass without, trying to do what we were trying to do. So we're just going to there's a middle target. We're going to try and shoot for just under the middle target. And then next time all right, let's go do it. See what happens.
burnout, and then that's straight, and then it curves to the right in the burnout and the pass, that's usually a sign of just a 4-link setting needs to be adjusted. So we'll make sure he sees that.
Oh man, that felt pretty fucking good, to be honest with you. For a 28 anyway. Fuck yeah. Definitely needs a 4-link change, but that felt pretty decent anyway. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There we go. There we fucking go. That'll fucking work. Get my ass back.
Nice.
As you can see, I'm not throwing things in the trailer. I'm calmly rolling up my cords. Yeah, I mean, it's fast as fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like,
Somehow you got more mile an hour.
somehow it just keeps up picking up mile an hour. I don't know. I'm not complaining. That's not usually a problem I have. Usually the mile an hour thing is beyond me, but for some reason it's being a good little guy.
I mean, it's turbos, so it should have mile an hour.
It is turbos.
Turbos.
Two
Two of them.
turbos. Yeah, no, I mean, literally the last race that we ended here in Oklahoma City, and you know, the one that nobody showed up to, whatever, the True Street, only True Street cars and Chief won or whatever everybody says.
Except for you raced another chassis car in the final, but whatever.
I had to race 2 chassis cars.
Bus
As
like
it
that.
turns out, there was only 3 cars left, and they were chassis cars at the end of the night.
Weird. Very
And you know,
weird.
that first row we went to was so crappy, you would have thought that even the playing field. So anyway, we the last passes that I made out here in that race, that pass was faster and
By a lot.
more miles per hour.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that I couldn't be happier. Everything's great, and I don't know why, but I'm sure something's going to fall apart before we get it loaded up.
Oh, way to go.
Maybe the cooler will break, or the dirt bike's going to be something.
We'll just leave it.
It's look at this. Howdy.
The thing's wet because I left the water deal open.
I don't care.
We're swimming out here.
I don't care. I just went fast on 28s, or, you know, fast for me on this road on 28s.
28 for life.
28s for life. So I'm getting a tattoo next week right here. Rainbow all the way up, and then 28s for life
Beautiful.
in Old English.
It'll be cute.
I think it'd be awesome. And then every time I go to a driver's meeting, I'd be like, it's right here, is it?
So, let us know if you want
Oh yeah, if
to
you
go
guys
over
want
some datas.
if you guys want to like go over data and stuff, you know, if we have time the next couple days, we'll sit down and, you know, just go over the changes that we make in between, and then, you know, like what they did or what they didn't do, and, you know, and also what she's doing over here, what I'm doing, what everything is, you know, stuff like that.
We should mention we do have a Discord server that is all technical.
The super secret Discord server?
It's a Discord server, so if you like tech, it's not really like a great fan thing, you know? Like,
No, you pretty much, if
you're doing the fan thing, you're just going to read about race cars all
well,
day.
and you're gonna hate it because we just shit on everybody and make fun of people, and then it's like there's one section
Yeah.
where you just make fun of everybody, and there's one section where you talk about really serious
And
technical
if you
stuff.
write it in the wrong section, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
Derek's gonna get your
There's
ass.
a guy in there that'll just ruin you. They'll run you right out of there. But we feel bad that we don't get to talk about everything that we do to the car, and anybody that does want to learn, there's really no good place to learn this kind of stuff. And you learn it wrong from the wrong people, and then you're, you know, I've done in the racing world, I've pretty much done what I wanted to do anyway. So like, I love helping people, and, you know, if you're a really smart race car person and you want to help out in the technical sections and be a part of it, let us know, and we'll work something out with you. And, you know,
Yeah.
if you're an idiot who agrees that you're like us and we don't know shit, you'll fit in just fine. I cord and put it in the trailer and load this thing up. Load this bad motherfucker on 28s. Ooh, load this bad motherfucker on 28s up. It just doesn't seem cool at all. I don't know.
Pitter patter.
Maybe. Whatever. Hurry now.